Hello YouTube. Well, today I'll tell you something that actually combines two of some of my favorite subjects, namely Lake Baikal in Siberia, that mysterious water reservoir I've been making videos about for the last few years, and a strange mushroom. I have a few videos about unusual mushrooms. Well, this one is an uncanny one. The story of this monster mushroom is quite old. Apparently, at one time it was covered in several Russian publications, but now it is almost forgotten, although it perfectly demonstrates the incredible abilities of some mushrooms to survive in the most extreme conditions. It happened in the village of Listvyanka on the western shore of Lake Baikal. An unusual glob of mucus was found in an ordinary bottle with mountain ash harvested for the winter. I'll explain later for those who don't know what mountain ash is. It was drained from the bottle into a zinc trough where it began to grow rapidly. This scared the owners of the bottle and they burned the growing slime on the street. The rumor about this mysterious case had reached scientists. They managed to find particles of the mysterious mushroom on the stone near the burning site. The stone was placed in a container with water, in which a whitish haze appeared very quickly, which in a couple of days turned into a lumpy slime with a purple tint. The researchers divided the mucus into several parts. Two of them were used for experiments. The other were left as controls. The first experimental part of the mushroom was filled with distilled water and then frozen to minus 18 degrees. Many believed that the mushroom had died, but then when it was thawed 3 hours later and placed in a weak glucose solution, it immediately came to life and began to rapidly increase in size. They decided to complicate the experiment by freezing the mushroom for 30 days, then smashing it with a hammer into fragments, one of which was placed in a nutrient medium. After 10 days, the mushroom began to grow, and after 15, it grew to the size of the broken experimental part. The second experimental part of the mushroom, on the contrary, was exposed to high temperature and dried to a thin elastic lens. It was ironed with a red-hot iron, after which it turned into a thin, brittle, shiny plate, somewhat resembling mica. The scientists decided to combine both experimental parts in one vessel, and after a while they merged into a single individual of white color with a purple tint. It is noteworthy that it was much more resilient than the control parts. One of the control parts was added to the vessel with the obtained specimen. It was absorbed by the new mushroom without any changes in acquired properties. In the course of further experiments, scientists have established that the monster mushroom is capable of remaining without water for a long time in a state of suspended animation. It was worth adding a little water to it as it quickly came to life. For example, once the researchers laid out the mushroom on a wet newspaper, the mushroom began to grow like dough on yeast, while devouring its paper litter, so to say. The mushroom turned out to be very omnivorous. A fish thrown into the vessel with it disappeared in about 12 hours. The scientist was unlucky when he dipped his finger into this mushroom jar, and almost all of his skin was lost. Amazingly, the mushroom was not afraid of any organic poisons. It simply decomposed them into harmless substances. When different substances were added to the vessel, the mushroom could change color. For example, after a lump of sugar became colorless. The gelatinous monster calmly withstood short-term boiling, was not afraid of electromagnetic effects and vibration. When the mushroom was unwound in a centrifuge, it became more dense and elastic, and pulsation began in its central part. which lasted for a whole day. The conducted studies were quite sufficient to conclude that the spread of the monster mushroom can pose a great danger to both the animal world and the humans. By the decree of the Special Commission, they decided to destroy the mushroom. The scientists collected all the preparations with the fungus, vessels, appliances, and even work clothing and shoes, put them all in a tank, poured diesel fuel over them, and burned them. Everything on which the spores of the mysterious fungus could remain was destroyed. However, it has been suggested that the spores of the fungus could remain in the taiga, the boreal forest, in the place where the mountain ash was harvested. However, a lot of time has passed since then, but the mushroom monster, fortunately, has not shown itself in any way. Maybe it died in one of the harsh winters, or maybe it was hiding and waiting in the wings. Where did it come from? According to one hypothesis, this is a mutant mushrooms, and there's also an hypothesis about its cosmic origin. The mysterious mushroom is even associated with the Tunguska meteorite and possible fall. Some people believe in that. If the spores of such monster mushrooms can actually travel through outer space, we may face major troubles in the future because meteorites fall on our Earth every day. Now, about Sorbus ocuparia, commonly known as rowan or mountain ash. It's a species of deciduous tree or shrub in the rose family. The tree has a slender trunk with smooth bark, a loose and roundish crown, and its leaves are pinnate in pairs on leaflets on central vein with terminal leaflet. It blossoms from May to June in dense corymbs of small yellowish-white flowers and develops small red palms as fruit that ripen from August to October and are eaten by many bird species. The fruit and foliage have been used in the creation of dishes and beverages as a folk medicine, I don't know about Eastern Europe, for sure, and as fodder for the livestock. Its tough and flexible wood has traditionally been used for woodworking. Sorbus ocuparia is a small tree or shrub that grows up to between about 5 to 15 meters in height. What connection it has to the mushroom besides what I told you, I have no idea. So that's what I wanted to let you know today about this very uncanny mushroom or whatever it is. And I will try to bring more details, although, we know the essence of the story. But, through my videos, you can see quite a lot about strangeness of Siberia and anomalies and paranormal phenomena. I'll bring you more in the future. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Please like my videos. Please support through the description you find, through the links you find in the description to this video. And thank you for your attention to my work.